is going to be a major issue, and along with it becomes the religious and the racial.
Right, so you're basically saying that we are being manipulated to kind of get at each other's throats. Is that just to distract us?
There's no question to do to get at each other's throats. And I mean, this whole thing. Here's my deal, by the way. People ask me, I'm a New Yorker, about this mosque. Well, first of all, you understand it's not a mosque. It's more like a community center. But here's my take on it. Everybody, all the churches, all the synagogues, all the mosques, all the religions, as Jesus Christ said, render unto Caesar what's Caesar's. Let them all pay taxes, and then we're going to see a different story here. And you also, by the way, it'll help balance the budget. Let all these religions, all these charitable organizations, all these nonprofit organizations that are hiding under whatever banner they're using, let them pay taxes. And then I'll tell you what, Paul, I bet this issue wouldn't be such a big issue.
Amazing. Shifting gears, you mentioned the unemployment rate in regard to immigration. I had Bob Chapman on the show the other day, who publishes the International Forecaster, and he was saying basically, we know the US Labor Department's cooked book saying 9.6 unemployment figure is completely inaccurate. But Bob was in fact saying that if you take the U6 unemployment figure of 16.7%, and then add in even the statistics that they don't include, we're talking about an unemployment rate in the United States which is already over 21%. Now, I mean, even at the 1933 level, we were at 25%. So, I mean, do you have a figure in mind for what the real unemployment rate is in America at the moment, not the one that the CNBC talking heads are telling us? How far are we going to go in terms of unemployment until we can actually acknowledge that we're in another Great Depression?
Well, I think Bob Chapman does excellent work, and I go by what he says on that number. He really has it down well, and I agree with him wholeheartely. We're going to continue to decline. Let's look at what happened last week when the stock market ran rampant for one day on the good news that we didn't lose as many jobs as we thought we did. I mean, how can this happen? That a market would respond like that. And then you look at where the jobs were created. Hey, how about home health aides or ambulance workers, medical workers and bartenders and waitresses, wonderful jobs they created. So even as they're creating jobs, and remember, we have to create anywhere between 150,000 to 125,000 a month just to keep up with population growth of new people moving into the system. We have an unemployment rate that we're going to see as we move deeper into this greatest depression over 25%. It's going to look like sunny Spain in good old USA.
It's amazing. I mean, we had the 54,000 job loss figure was reported at the end of last week. I read that and I thought, well, that's bad news. And then I went and visited Bloomberg News, and they were celebrating it as if it was this great achievement that we'd only lost 54,000 jobs. And I mean, as you say, with the population growing as a result of immigration, I mean, that's even more, even less jobs for everybody else. But staying on the economy, the dollar, 15-year low against the yen. You've been warning of a dollar crisis in 2010. How is that going to be sparked off? You mentioned some kind of bank holiday related to a terror attack. Do you see the dollar collapsing suddenly, or is it just going to be this gradual decline?
No, we think it's going to be as sudden. It's going to be a real hit, and it's being set up already for it in so many different ways. In a little while, we're going to hear President Obama do another dog and pony show in Ohio about jobs. The economy is going to collapse. There's going to be something that's going to knock it off its pins.
All right, stay there, Gerald. We'll be back after this break. PrisonPlanet.tv. This is the Alex Jones Show. Stay tuned.
Gold. If you listen to the radio, watch TV, or surf the net, you're hearing about gold. Eventually you will ask yourself, is gold right for me? The answer might surprise you. We protect ourselves and our families from many things. Do you have medical insurance? Is your home insured? Do you carry life insurance? How about financial insurance? If you own gold, then the answer is yes. If you don't own gold, the question is, why don't you have financial insurance? We put our faith in things we trust. Do you trust the dollar? Do you trust the economy? Do you trust the government? Gold has always been something you can trust. For thousands of years, people have put their faith in gold. Where will you put your faith? Now is the time to protect yourself and your family. Call Midas Resources today at 1-800-686-2237, extension 242. 1-800-686-2237, extension 242. And ask for Jim Parker. Let me help you get started today. 1-800-686-2237, extension 242.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
With no end in sight for the global financial crisis, it's become very evident there is a global food shortage upon us. What if your local grocery store was suddenly closed? What if? The time to prepare yourself and your family for what if is now. This is your last chance to stock up and save with the last Mountain House sale of the year. For 1 week only, September 6th through 13th, Ready Made Resources offers GCN listeners 25% off all Mountain House case lots, plus free shipping. Go to ReadyMadeResources.com before it's too late. See the variety of quality Mountain House foods in a wide selection for every taste. Mountain House foods have a 25-year shelf life and are easy to prepare. Just add water for great tasting snacks or meals. Remember, this 25% off case lots is only through September 13th. Call 800-627-3809 and mention GCN to get 25% off per case of Mountain House foods with free shipping. That's 1-800-627-3809 or go to ReadyMadeResources.com. Sale ends September 13th.
Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy.
We're talking to Gerald Celente of the Trends Research Institute. The website is trendsresearch.com. Now, I remember writing an article about a prediction that Gerald made. I believe it was back in 2008 when he talked about these tax rebellions. And this was before the emergence of the Tea Party, which, of course, in its embryonic form, was this anti-tax movement. It's since been largely infiltrated by the Republican Party. But just another example of even just in the last couple of years, one of Gerald's predictions in his Trends Research Journal has come to fruition. Now, Gerald, I want to talk about neo-survivalism. This is something that's mentioned in your most recent issue. How is this going to manifest itself? Are we talking food gardens, people buying more land, people going back to the simple life, to farming? Or are we talking about a more interconnected model of survivalism with a return to things like the old-fashioned cooperatives? How are we going to see this unfold?
Well, it's just about how you summed it up. It's a combination of the two. It's rugged individualism and working together as a community, dealing with people that you can trust, like-minded people, and buying local. It's another big one. Paul, this is a perfect grasshopper and ant winter that we're going into. The summer was one, remember they told us, of a summer of recovery, to quote the great Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States and literary genius. And here we are. There's no recovery. Even the cover-up didn't work. The stimulus is running out. But how many people, like the grasshopper, were dancing and believing in the tune being spun out of the White House? And they're not preparing for what we see as one of the harshest economic winters in living memory. And I use that word winter, not to be taken literally as it's only going to be this winter, but for a long time to come. So in neo-survivalism, it's also important to understand that ant lives in a colony. It can't do it by itself, regardless of how hard it works in trying to prepare for the future. The colony is going to be the strongest when they all work together. And that's something, by the way, that's been pulled out of society by the very people that are selling it to us. The Madison Avenue, Hollywood, Washington, Wall Street fraternity. They keep telling us about rugged individualism. You can do it on yourself, supermom. You're an independent single person. You don't need anybody. Make it on your own. In the meanwhile, they're doing all the deals. Try getting into their club and pulling off one. You'll never get in there unless you're a member of the Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Bullets, Bombs, and Banks fraternity. So what's going on is that in neo-survivalism, people really have to understand and think truly like the ant, because we're only hearing part of the parable and not looking at the other end of it. It's going to be very difficult times. Join up with as many people as you can. And not only to join up for survival, but to also help move us into a more prolific future. What do I do personally? I don't buy corporate food. None of it. I won't eat it. I'm Italian. I know what good food is, and I won't eat this stuff. So support your local. I just went to a restaurant the other day, and I ordered a Stoli on the rocks. And the woman said to me, "We only have American brand vodkas." And they had a whole list of them. I said, "All right, that's terrific." And they only have local eggs. Not eggs from these so-called factory farms, these chicken coop concentration camps. How about a nice sunny side up egg from Auschwitz farms? I mean, how could people eat that stuff? 500 million of them being recalled, and the FDA hadn't been there in a year. So the neo-survivalism, yes, it starts with the individual, but spreads to the community.
Okay, that sounds like a plan to me. And we're going to go to your calls for Gerald Celente in the next segment. This is The Alex Jones Show at prisonplanet.tv. Stay right there.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones.